years ago today, a crime that forever changed Austin. 4 teenage girls were murdered in an I can't believe it's yogurt shop. The building was then set on fire. The case remains unsolved to this day. Over the past 3 decades, 4 men arrested and charged with the crime had either their convictions overturned or the cases dropped against them. And on this anniversary, questions still linger about just what happened that night. Senior reporter Tony Plohetski is here to discuss the case and to preview this upcoming coverage that you've been working on today. And Tony, people who have lived in Austin for a long time still talk about how this case rattled the entire city's sense of safety. I know just recently someone pulled me aside and asked me about it, just a viewer, and said, what happened to that case?
You know, Yvonne, it was a case that was both so shocking to people who lived here in Austin, not only the circumstances of what happened. You think about it, 4 teenage girls in a yogurt shop. 2 of them worked there, the other 2 were visiting. And there's not only, of course, the discussion about the heinousness of the crime, but it really also rattled the entire city. It also sent the entire city into a period of mourning. But Yvonne, over the past several decades, the case has also received increased intrigue about who killed the girls that night. As we mentioned, there were arrests in the case, but those arrests really crumbled and the cases crumbled. And so now, on this 30-year anniversary, there's still so many questions just about what happened that night. The performance of the police obviously has been a question throughout this whole 3 decades. But again, on this anniversary, people really still hoping and wanting for answers about what happened.
Tony, you were able to speak with the girls' families. What are they telling you on this anniversary? Because to me, as a parent, it's just the lack of closure for me. I couldn't handle it, you know?
You know, Yvonne, keep in mind that many of them, the family members, are reluctant to talk on this 30-year anniversary. They have been through so much through the years. I was able to talk by phone to Barbara Wilson. She lost 2 of her daughters that night, Sarah and Jennifer Harbison. She says that she thinks justice likely won't ever happen, but she still longs for it, though. I also interviewed Sean and Angie Ayers. Sean is the brother of the youngest victim, Amy Ayers, and here's what he had to say.
It's 30 years of not giving up, 30 years of trying. It takes 30 more years, it'll be 30 more years. We're not giving up. There will be a resolution to this, one way or another.
Now, Tony, you actually talked to the first investigator on the case. Do investigators think it will ever be solved?
Well, there is certainly hope that it will be. Keep in mind that the Austin Police Department cold case unit still very much has an active investigation going on. Yvonne, when you walk into the cold case unit, they actually have a diorama of the yogurt shop and pictures of those 4 victims as a reminder. And so there is still very much an ongoing investigation in this case. But as you mentioned, I did talk to John Jones, who was the first investigator on this case.
You know, somebody said, well, you know, what if it's somebody you overlooked? Fine. Okay, I'm good with that, just so, you know, it can be proved that they did it.
And Yvonne, just a reminder, coming up, as you mentioned, at 5, 6, and 10, we've got special coverage of this anniversary with full interviews from the Ayers family and former investigator John Jones.
I'll be sure to watch. I know it took a lot of hard work, and we want to make sure that this case is solved. It doesn't matter how much time has passed, right, Tony? Thanks for joining us this morning.